let's take a look at 16. Number 16 says, in triangle ABC, angle C is a right angle. So angle C is 90 degrees, a right angle. If the cosine of A is 5/8, what is the value of cosine B? And so you'll need to know what SOHCAHTOA is. We have the sine is always going to be the opposite and the hypotenuse. So the sine is always going to be some fraction where it's the opposite over the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse. And then you have the cosine. So the cosine is always going to be the adjacent over the hypotenuse. And then you have the tangent. And the tangent is always going to be the opposite over the adjacent. And so what these mean is, so in this triangle, see where it says cosine A equals 5/8? You pick that angle A, and in this case, it's telling you for the cosine of A, the adjacent, which is going to be the line adjacent to that angle, is going to be 5. So we know that this is 5 right here. And then we have hypotenuse, which is always going to be that long side of the triangle, is going to be 8. So we're going to have 8. And so we know that this sine is 5, this length is 5, this length is 8. And so now we want to find the cosine of this angle right here, B. Well, we also know a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And this will be true for any right triangle. So this is a relationship true for any right triangle. We know that A is one of the sides, right? This side, or this side. And then that C is always going to be that longer side. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared means that the lengths of these two sides squared will always equal this side squared. We know that this length here is 5, so we don't know this part. We don't know what A equals, but we know B is 5, and we know C is 8. So we want to get A by itself. So let's undo the addition here. We have 8 squared minus 5 squared equals A squared. And to undo the square root, or to undo a square, you would take the square root of that. And so you have the square root of 8 squared minus 5 squared. 8 squared minus 5 squared. And that's going to give you A. So knowing this relationship, we can simplify it. We may not have a square root calculator. In this case, they give us a graphing calculator. So we want to take the square root of 8 times 8 is 64, and then 5 and 5 is 25. So 64 minus 25 is going to be 39. So that simplified, we get the square root of 39. Now we want to start looking at the cosine of B. And so the cosine is set up as the opposite, or in this case the adjacent. So this line here, which is some unknown number we solved for, a, right? This is going to be your a. And that's all over your hypotenuse, which is 8. So the cosine of b equals a over 8. And since a is the square root of 39, then our answer has to be c, the square root of 39 over 8. And so our answer is C.